Imagine scrolling on social media. Imagine seeing a design that you did, a design that you were proud of, a design that you were over the moon about, only to find out that your logo had been erased from it and someone else's logo had been put on. Imagine that you worked hours and hours just to get this just right, to represent your brand, to represent who you are. And then all of a sudden your logo is gone and someone else is claiming it as their own. It happens. So, has that happened to you? And if it has happened, stick with me for a minute. Let me talk to you about what I learned from that moment and how I handled it and how I learned to handle it. I'll tell you how I handled it, but I'm going to tell you how I learned to handle it going forward. Imagine that you are like working as hard as you can, but someone actually takes your information. But let's talk about the reality. The reality of that is that when we post things on social media, when we put our information out, when we put our designs out, it's inevitable. Somebody is going to take what you do. And if I'm being real, a lot of what we post now is something that we saw someone else do. Maybe we want to put our own slant on it. We change it around a little bit. We put it out there. But in essence, because of what we're all talking about in the business world, is very similar. So it's very difficult to have a brand new original idea, only original to you, without having little leaks and little pieces of influence, I guess, from other people. So we are all subject to being copied. We're all subject to being hijacked. We're all subject to somebody just blatantly stealing our stuff and our items, our content, and just making it their own. So the question is, what do you do? How do you handle that? And, in the past, you hear things like, oh, imitation is flattery and so on and so on. But for me, I just feel like it is stealing. When you blatantly take the entire thing and just erase it and put your logo, I feel like that's stealing. That's not even trying to be creative. That's not trying to change the font. That's not trying to change the color. I mean, none of us, unless it's an original quote or a thought, we take little quotes and we just try to blend them and put them on our own. But when you're seeing your actual work, that's where it becomes kind of funny. And the question is like, what do you do about that? And can you do anything about it? And do you really want to do anything about it? Because part of it is that we are all in a field where people are going to, like I said, people are going to be influenced by what you do. But the thing to realize is that when you create something, you have put your own spin on it. When you create something and it represents your brand, it represents who you are, it's got your own twist. And so no matter who tries to take what you have, no matter who tries to copy it, even if they try to put it in their own color, it didn't come from the place that it came from when you created it. It didn't come from the place that you came from when you were trying to represent your brand or your company or who you are or what you do. So if you think about it for a minute, a lot of us in the business, we have people who are virtual assistants. We have people who are business operations managers. We have people who call yourself however you want to call yourself. And we have people who are coaches and people who are all the things. But there are so many of us or so many people doing the same thing. But then what is the thing that makes you stand out? What is the thing that makes you rise above and make you different from what other people are? And so those are the things that you need to think about. So it's easy to get caught up and try to watch and try to monitor to see what they're doing next. Focus on what you're doing. Focus on how you are unique, how you are original, how you stand above and beyond the crowd, even in your design, in your delivery, in the way you do your services. If you think about how many business coaches are out there, how many operations managers are out there, how many of all the things, but what is the thing? What is your secret sauce? What is the thing that makes you very different? And if you focus more on what your secret sauce is and less on what people are doing, because they can't be you, right? So if somebody comes up with an idea, or if I come up with an idea and I'm like, oh, I know what this is, I get so excited and I put it out there. I'm putting it out there based on what it means to me, and there's only one me, and there's only one you. And so what your idea and what your thoughts are very different from what other people might be thinking. So we cannot get caught up in the, well, someone else took my idea, because let's face it, how many of our ideas are really our ideas? Now we have taken ideas from people and we have, tweaked them and things like I said before, but what is the thing that makes you unique and original? So imagine if we ask someone, we have two people next to each other, and they, how did you get your start? What was the driving force behind you starting your business? And the two people will say two different things. Okay. So no one of us is exactly alike. People start their businesses for different reasons. They have different goals, different audiences they want to reach. And really, your audience knows you. Your audience knows what you're about. Your audience knows the type of things that you produce. And your audience knows that if somebody else clips your thing and do it, that it's not the same. It doesn't have the same flavor to it. So if you are somebody who likes the particular brand, so if you are a Heinz ketchup person, for example, and someone slides Hunt's ketchup, you know the difference, right? So your audience knows the difference. You know what got you started. You know what your brand is about. You know what you're trying to produce. You know the message you're trying to get across, and other people don't always know it. So don't get caught up and don't worry about if somebody else takes your item or your design. Think about how you can continue to stay ahead of the game. So while they're copying something that you've already done, we've already moved on to the new thing. We've already moved on to what is the next way I can elevate. What is the next thing? So it's not always just a design. And I use that as an example because that's what happened to me. But think for a minute if you've tried to design a program, if you've tried to coach in a particular way, and then all of a sudden you put it out there as an advertisement, and then somebody else grabs onto it, and next thing you know, they're trying to do the same thing. So we have to be cautious, and we have to take steps to, be careful. And some people go as far as to, trade marketing, copywriting, and so on, depending on how serious the project is. But how are you protecting yourself? How are you monitoring what you do? And if you put everything out there, that you're not ready for people to get, you can't get mad when they get it because it will get taken. That's the nature of what's going on out there in the world. So if you have something that you want to protect, hold on to it. If you have something that is ready to go out, let it go out. And just remember that when it does, you are an original. No one can do what you do the way you do it. So before we get ready to put on our gloves and fight and cause a scene, don't worry about it. We're moving on to the bigger and better. So hold on to that and remember to focus that you are you and no one else can be you.